our first story comes from Japan. Number 1 is Kingfisher and Bullet Train, the story of how a bird helped reshape the daily commute of millions. Many birdwatchers I know will tell you it's a really special day when they see a kingfisher. The common kingfisher is roughly 17 centimeters in length, a bit shorter than a pencil. It makes its home in dense cover near slow-moving or still water, as it mostly eats fish. Eiji Nakatsu is someone who's very familiar with kingfishers. Nakatsu is a birdwatcher, and he's also an engineer. In fact, he's a very good engineer. So good that in 1989, he was appointed General Manager of the Technical Development Department of Japan Railway West. This meant he worked on the new 500 series Shinkansen, or as it's more commonly referred to, the bullet train. Now, if you haven't seen one before, believe me, bullet trains are exceptionally impressive things. Like a machine from the future, they carry millions of passengers on some of the world's busiest train lines and are among the fastest trains on Earth. But in 1990, Eiji Nakatsu's team was set the challenge to speed them up even further. They had to make traveling in Western Japan from Shinosaka to Hakata Station in Fukuoka take less than 2 hours and 20 minutes. To do that, the train would need to clock up speeds of over 300 kilometers an hour. This was easier said than done, because the bullet trains had a problem, a very big problem. When the trains went through tunnels, they made a very loud bang, one that disturbed wildlife, made passengers uncomfortable, and woke up people in nearby houses. Teams of engineers were working to find a solution. It seemed like it all came down to aerodynamics. When the train hit the air at the start of the tunnel, it acted rather like a plunger being pushed into a pump. A rapid buildup of air created a shockwave, which sped ahead of the train down the tunnel, rather like a bullet down a gun barrel. When the shockwave got to the other end, it exited the tunnel, and that's when people heard the bang. And because the shockwave moved at the speed of sound, the bang was heard before the train itself emerged. Bullet trains are fast, but not that fast. This was a problem for 2 reasons. Firstly, the noise was breaking Japanese environmental regulations, which said the trains had to be quieter than 75 decibels. That's about the same volume as a vacuum cleaner. When you need a train to travel at over 300 kilometers an hour, that's really quiet. And second of all, the compressed air was slowing the trains down, a bit like wading through water. If they could solve these problems, they could make the trains both faster and quieter. They needed a train that could cut through air more efficiently, to stop it building up inside the tunnels, and that, my friends, is where the kingfisher comes in. Our planet is home to about 100 different species of kingfisher. Save for the polar regions and some of the world's driest deserts, they're found all over the globe. Most species are found in Australia, Asia, and Africa. They're generally characterized by long, sharp, pointed bills and large heads, with short legs and stubby tails. Despite their name, not all kingfishers catch fish, but those that do are very efficient, having exceptional eyesight and a beak that's perfectly shaped for plunging into the water after fish. Long, narrow, and highly streamlined, the beak steadily increases in diameter from the tip to the head. This reduces the impact when the kingfisher hits the water, as it essentially slides into the water, which flows past the beak rather than being pushed in front of it. And that's exactly what the bullet train was failing to do as it moved from the open track into a tunnel. Whilst he was mulling over this problem, Eiji Nakatsu happened to attend a lecture by an aviation engineer at the Wild Bird Society in Osaka, and discovered that birds had helped aviation technologists to solve some of their design problems. It got him thinking, if the front of his train looked more like a kingfisher beak, it could improve its aerodynamics, allow air to flow around it rather than building up in front of it, and in the process,